So welcome back to our third video blog from our Vision Farms. Just a mix and match of some of the things that we're doing on farms. So calving, spring calving has started on both farms. We have winter milking herd as well. So we've about 25 cows calved since the 1st of December, and the lads have decided that they want one farm to do winter milking, and they're looking at dates of calving and fertility planning going forward around that, and there's a lot of work to be done there. But I suppose going forward in the spring, our big focus will be on transition management in cows, milk quality and calf health. So from a calf health perspective, we're looking at two key areas. We're looking at immunity and how we can improve or maximise that. And the second thing we're going to do is we're going to focus very heavily on infection pressure, what we think is some very unique solutions. So when we look at immunity, I suppose the key focus for us was been colostrum quality and how we improve that. So our cows are on, the close-up cows are on a diet of soya and rolled oats. Because our silage quality was poor, we want to do everything we can to improve colostrum quality and even help a little bit with our cows with better transition management. So far, colostrum quality has been really good. We've been happy with that. But one of the key areas we do see, and is a risk on a lot of farms, is how we harvest colostrum and hygiene. Remember that young calf's gut is like a sponge, taking in all these magical immunoglobulins, fats, growth hormones, and so much more for colostrum. We don't want that sponge. The first thing to get down there is feces. So we're big emphasis on hygiene and colostrum harvesting, big emphasis on hygiene on feeding equipment as well, and we're setting up a weekly routine. We're quite excited. I suppose one of the pillars we're really focusing in on is for the first year is health and antibiotic reduction, and one of the areas that's really key to immunity in the young calf is good gut health. So we're using a liquid probiotic for the first 7 days on all our calves, and then twice a week after that for the first 7 days. And it's a liquid probiotic with really fast action and a really unique blend of pro, and postbiotics to help enhance and maintain good gut health. Otherwise, on calves, we're feeding whole milk, and we're looking at, we finally got our intranasal vaccination program ready to go. There's no vaccine in that gun, but we were just doing a bit of training on administration of intranasal vaccines, and we're using an RSV intranasal vaccine, live vaccine on all our calves. The other thing we're trying to do, because we've had issues with Cryptosporidium scour last year on this farm, we're trying to identify calf scars if we get them. We've had none so far, but identified them earlier with rapid testing kits. So we did a little bit of training on how to use them and how we're going to implement them if we have calf scar, and our routines and SOPs on that. So just having the farm team ready to look at calf scars and make an early diagnosis, particularly when we're focusing on crypto. So a few weeks back we had a post up about our preparation for our calf housing and using hydrogen peroxide 3%, spraying it on to disinfect, to kill any Cryptosporidium oocysts in the environment. So we've done that. I think our unique solutions, and we focus on reducing infection pressure, something that I've been quite interested for a long time is the use of microbes, the use of good bacteria in environments. So in every environment, every community, there's good and bad. And if we can get a good population of bacteria infused into our environment on a regular basis, those good bacteria create colonies, and good bacteria will compete with bad bacteria. They produce entericins and bactericins. And what we're doing here is we're using this fogging machine to infuse our calf shed before we put in the next layer. And this is got a unique blend, again, of live bacteria that are going to colonize our sheds. And what we've done is we put down some sawdust. This is something I've seen in Scandinavia. We're putting down some sawdust, and we're then going to infuse that sawdust with, it's the first layer of the cake, again, that unique live blend of microbes. And we've worked out per square meter how much microbes we need to use, and that creates a microbial bed. The good bacteria will compete obviously with the bad bacteria, but it also will create a composting effect where you'll have certainly should have less ammonia build-up and a much better air quality. And also, because we're infusing this, we're putting the straw down and infusing that again, we're creating this almost hyperthermic reaction, and that's the amount of liquid that comes out of this fogging machine. So we're creating this hyperthermic bed, and it also, going forward, should be a really good compost. So these are our calves lying in on their 2 layers, so they're infused sawdust with their straw, which will be infused weekly after that. We should see also a big reduction in straw usage because of the type of microbes that we're using in the environment. So this is our calf shed, one of 2 calf sheds, one of actually 3, because we have an overflow calf shed as well. Probably an issue here will be airflow and air quality, but hoping that using our microbes will really help. So we are looking at one of our pillars in the farm over the next 5 years is sustainability. We're really interested in the area of using these good bacteria in a number of areas. So this is our slurry inoculant. Again, quite a large volume of liquid solution, and we've worked with a company who's bringing really decades of experience around this whole area of microbes and how we use them. And we're going to be using a silage inoculant as well. So this is on both farms we have this machine for infusing these live liquid probiotics into the environment, fogging them out, creating an aerosol. And that's important because it'll affect the bedding. But you must remember there's good bacteria in the gut, there's good bacteria in the respiratory system, and we want to maintain a healthy population of bacteria at all levels. So we're really interested on how we're going to progress with that. It's very exciting. Water quality was an issue on farm. Our Smactex boluses indicated that one of the farm's water intake was poor. We went and we looked at putting in more troughs, but then when we looked at oxygenation levels of water, they were quite low on one farm. So we went back to basics again, and again difficult again with these concrete troughs. We cleaned them out, and we're looking at much more permanent solution next week going into the farm, because I think water quality is one of the things we often forget about, and it's really important. What are the other things we're focusing on farm? I suppose critical care of our transition cows, again trying to minimize down disease. We've started recording. We don't have much records to work with. We're working through some of the older records on farm, but we're really trying to manage those freshly calved cows in our transition group as carefully as we can. Big emphasis on oral fluid therapy. We're using our stomach pumps on both farms and losing a lot of fresh carver product again going into those cows, and we're really getting good results with that, nutritionally supporting those cows. And our cow fluid therapy course is actually online at the moment, and we think it's something that really is benefiting us on farm. I want to see other farms using it. Other than that, I suppose really again milk quality has been a challenge. When we started this project a couple of months back, cell count on farm was very, very high, so we began a long but maybe slower process to look at cell count. And we have 60 cows going into the tank at the moment between stale milkers, freshly calved cows and the start of our spring, and our cell counts dropped to just over 100,000. So really I think the farm team should be very proud of what they've done. We're analysing the bugs that come out, so we have a problem list of cows, and milk records are so essential. So we're milk recording 6 times a year. We're looking at freshly calved cows, particularly our problem list, and we're sampling them to see what bugs are there and looking at their history and making decisions then around that. So again, we're trying to monitor energy. One of our farms had a bit of a sluggish start. We had a stillborn calf and a cow that had premature twins, so we just to be on the safe side ran some iodine tests. The other thing, we have our foot bats in finally on both farms as well for visitors, and I suppose we're beginning a bit of a process on diagnostics to see what levels of different viruses have we. We started a program on both farms. We did a pretty comprehensive blood testing on both farms to check IBR levels, and we're negative, so that's really positive. The next focus probably will be on Johne's disease. So that's sort of a mixture of things we're doing. If I went back 4 weeks ago, we probably felt like we weren't making much progress, but I think over the last 4 or 5 weeks, the team have really seen some of the benefits of the hard work and effort and planning that's gone in. And now the really hard work starts with our transition management, managing those freshly calved cows, that focus on milk quality. So we'll try and keep you updated as best we can from our Vision Farms. Happy, safe farming, everybody, and take care and stay safe.